Next time, well, the plan is the last Amityville movie, which won't be the last Amityville movie I'm watching, but anyway, I've actually listened to Stephen King's Pet Semetary. I don't know the edition, I don't care the edition. I've seen the first adaptation, not the rest. I was wondering in one of the new ones why kids were going there like Children of the Corn. In the book, there is a pet cemetery, and the, the pet cemetery is of the children of the town. So the adults don't even go there, but some mysterious atmosphere draws the kids there. Like, it's tough. And everybody is psychic. Everybody is have the shining or something because everybody knows things they should not know and oh that jazz. That was funny. Unintentionally funny. The writing and the story and all that, the book is good, fine, nothing wrong with it, aside being overtly long. I would remove the very least one third of it. Because on the other hand, let's go a different way. If you get familiar, I mean, reading or listening the audiobook with King's Pet Cemetery, you should recognize that this thing sold because King does not write horror books. His target audience is those who are wanting to read or whatever small tone melodrama. And the book has a bunch more stuff. Like the father of the family is working and teaching on some local university. I thought that they were in a village, way too small for a university, but okay, whatever, it's fine, it works. But I also see why they cut it out. And, the movie kind of sort of works because it's rapid firing you their development. There is the neighbor, there is the truck, there is the cat dying, then the cat resurrects, all in rapid succession, so you have something to watch. The novel is nothing like that. They are just living their life in like Twin Peaks style. They are just there and doing their things and on from another angle, this book, this story, be glad if you only saw the movie. The book is very outdated. It's racist. It's the family is horrendous. It's a absolutely unfunctional family. Everybody's rude to everyone. They are. It's almost like Rob Zombie's Halloween. That family. I mean that's on a whole other level. Its own level, of course. It's Rob Zombie, but it's kind of like that, the family dynamic. And the guy is hating his family. He wants to get rid of the cat. In the first chapter, he wants to beat up very 80s style his kids, and the wife is always nagging and whining and getting on the nerves, and oh, it's menopause and everything. That's not a healthy relationship. I, I remember, we don't get like anything on the wife's side. She's just a good wife, always doing her thing and taking care of the kids and family. But she has no personality. Very 50s style wife. I bet this was how King's family worked. I absolutely believe that. And it was not a good family. And as I said, it's this family beating and racism and the, and some other stuff. I don't remember. I didn't make notes. That's on me. It's not a book that you want to read today. Not at all. But for on paper, the story development, pacing, and that kind of stuff works. As said, I would remove entire chapters and that shorten the whole thing, but it's okay if you are the audience King is writing for, small town melodrama audience. You won't have things to complain. So it's just me. It's a personal thing, but to shorten it. But otherwise, it's a good pacing. There is the neighbor, and they make and the neighbor has a wife, and she's very ill. But the core of the relationship with the father is that the neighbor never asks for medical help. He never tries to use the friendship to get anything from it. He's just an old guy in some rural part of any country, actually, with some secrets. Everybody has a secret in this town, very Twin Peaks like. And then there is the trucks mentioned, and there is the cats, which they are developing with it. Okay, we have the cat, so and we hate the cat, and there are the trucks, so they don't even try to build a fence. They want to bring it to cut it off and make it trans. But yeah, so there is that kind of, and there is that one of the daughters noticed the passage into the woods, and then the old guy talks about the passage when they have a picnic or something like that, barbecue or whatever. Then they go on on the passage to just look around on some hilltop. But then they also go to the pet cemetery. But it is implied at that point that there is more to this thing, because the whole pet cemetery is weird and is built in a structure and all that kind of thing. And then, actually, even before getting to the actual Native American cemetery, the father has some dreams, and there are urban legends that some people could buried here and there or got lost in the forest, and sometimes they don't show up. So it has this kind of rolling story. It's where it takes its place, it takes its pace, but the story is rolling. So in the grand scheme of things, but it's the big, big box cemetery is very is not just a cemetery. It's like a gate of hell type of thing, and something want to come out of it. Yeah. So sure, whatever, why not? The, it's the usual description. It's bones wriggling in the ground and whatever. There is some rotting zombie in the. It's either a dream or not a dream, and it's all going dead. That's kind of mysterious, but for me, let's talk about that one. A wriggling skeleton is that's interesting. I'm it's for me it would be just interesting. It's not scary. It's interesting. It doesn't hurt me. It's just interesting. I would go there and poke it just to see if it does something. And the rotting guy and that kind of, there is an accident with some dude. Half of his head is missing, but he's still alive, and that's the usual Stephen King shtick. Throw in some gruesome things so people will get, offended, think it's horror. That's just so pretentious. It doesn't matter. And the other thing is that this whole thing, this was why I even looked into this. And King said this is his most scary story. Is it though? That was my question. And I don't know why. It's just my personality. But grief is not something I'm much boggling down with. I see when someone will be gone from a miles away. So it's not like it hit me like a surprise. And there was like everyone said he was a good friend of mine. I'm not telling it he was not, but everyone said that he was my best friend. And one day he was taken out of the school. It was some racist attack, so it's. But personally, okay, he's not present today, so he's not present today. And I'm not really sure, I was never really sure why I should care. Maybe it's my background, when I was smaller, we moved like every 4 or 5 years. I mean, switching school also counts here. And I don't know, didn't develop this, connection, heart connection thing, or you just, yeah, sure. Like my grandma died, and I knew she was very ill. and she was got into the hospital, and I said, just laying here, and this is not healthy. She's old. Let's bring her to the get some fresh air. That's not something a hospital has capacity for. And they were renovating something in the staircase, whatever, when we are going out, and she got so disturbed by the noises that she preferred to go back. She insisted to go back, so of course we didn't force it. But at that point I was, she will not come out from here. And this was just fact for me. It's not start crying or anything. No, it's just okay. And when some months later they told me she died, I was, well, she won't be cooking the yearly family gathering. I like that food. But it somehow never, it's not a very emotional thing for me, grief. So, and Pet Semetary, Stephen King's Pet Semetary, has grief as its core for horror. So I personally don't really care. And the other thing was what I was caring for in this one. They said something, I don't know, someone said something about some Wendigo. And we don't meet any Wendigo. I thought that will be something related to the cemetery, some monster in the wood or whatever. But no, it's just a legend attached, throwing in randomly. The lore is that the cemetery, the Micmac cemetery, was originally some. They throw their human bones of victims of cannibalism. So when a human or whatever is buried there, comes back as a Wendigo, who is aggressive because becomes this, I'm craving human flesh, although the pets, animals dug there, are not craving human flesh, so it's not like in the movie. And also, I'm not sure. I saw it the movie. I thought was pretty forgettable, but if I am correct, in the movie the cat was killed like in reanimator style. It got aggressive, so the father killed it in the middle of the movie. In the novel, no, it's at the end of the movie when he euthanizes the zombie daughter. And the movie's pacing much more rapid and much more not thought through. The novel is much more thought through, but the guy says at the end, my wife's corpse is fresh, so maybe that was the issue. The book is like 2,000 pages, and there are like the thing Pat, the old guy, buried there like 1,000 years ago, 50, 100 years ago, and there is the cat, and there is the daughter, and finally there is the mother. That's it. In a 90-minute movie, 70, 90-minute movie, it works because you remember, and there is you notice the, okay, so it's rational for the father to think that maybe it was the deal. In the novel, it comes out of nowhere. It's absolutely irrational, just throwing it in. I don't know where that came from. But, King says he can't write endings. It would have sufficed to have it like, just burying the wife. Because, see, it's, as I said, the family is very dysfunctional. The father hates the cat, the father hates the children, and he's even annoyed by his wife, but, he obviously, in a very old style way, he's liking her, like, property, kinda. Very 50s attitude. So, resurrecting her, especially when the children and all the Nojans went away, is logical. So, he's very selfish. And that's another problem of me. The father is like nothing else but the father in The Shining. You know where that character worked very well? Domino Cars. The boyfriend or husband or whatever of the woman who first takes out the UFO is very much like this person. Very alcoholic, very pressurized aggressivity and all that. But there, it works out because he's a transitional protagonist. There, the protagonist is first the woman who digs out the UFO, then when she's transformed to the alien, sure, then becomes the protagonist becomes the boyfriend, writer, teacher, or whatever Stephen King self-insert, and at the end, a whole new person who blows up the whole town is the protagonist. There it works. Here you feel the recycled element. So this was long enough. Well, this was a book review. Next time, the last Amityville movie. Movie timelines practically begged to make it. I mean, not to me. He made a review of, and I watched, and he mentioned, every Amityville movie after my movie. Like, oh, I will love that. See you.